like to hold the club accountable, Dan. Are you a little bit frustrated at sort of the mouths on Spurs fans at the moment and how well they're doing and how brilliant they are and the fact they're going back to the top?
Yeah, it's listen, they get excitable, don't they? It's the fan base all over. You know, we've got a very deluded, toxic fan base at Arsenal, but mate, those lot take the biscuit. It's crazy, actually. It's actually quite funny. But you know, Henry was on my channel last night saying that they found their Klopp in Ange Postecoglou.
What? No, he
Yeah,
did.
yeah,
Henry Wright.
Henry Wright. Yeah, he said they found their Klopp. Wow, 19 games. Try and win something first, mate, before we get too excited. Listen, I think he's done a great start. You know, the recruitment's been really good at Spurs. I actually think most of their signings have been hits this summer. If you look at Udogie coming in, you look at Vicario, Van der Ven, Maddison, obviously Basuma and Richarlison, and those man Benson, Kulusevski were all Contes, but they've all started to at least come in and show what they're made of under Ange. So for me, they've got a good first 11. It's all right. I think it will get Champions League football. I don't think they've got the squad to go and do a title race like some of them want. You know, I've seen Deji and Henry believe that they're flirting with title race and stuff like that. If you want to talk about title race now, you can, but I think you need to wait a bit longer. Personally, at least get to sort of February, March time before you start to look at who's where. But you can start to talk about title now. They're not going to win anything this season. They're not going to win the Premier League. They're not in Europe. They're going to go out to Man City in the FA Cup. And they're out the Carabao Cup to Fulham. So they're not going to win anything again. And I thought that was what we were bantering Spurs for, about winning. But you speak to them and it's like, I mean, they're so high at the moment. They went to Old Trafford against a shocking Man United side and couldn't beat them. And we're talking about Ange being a Klopp. What the hell's going on here? Like, I mean, they were in fourth position under Conte. They're now in fifth position. And they're all like getting the party poppers out. I don't quite understand what they've done yet. It's quite bizarre. It's quite bizarre. It really is. But this is what Tottenham do, man. You know, and all they then do is just throw it at Arsenal. What are you on? What are you doing? Okay, let's just concentrate on just Tottenham. Let's not compare them to Arsenal for a second. Let's look at Tottenham Hotspur right now, where they're at. 4 months ago, they were screaming for Daniel Levy to go out the side. Get him out! Can't stand the man. Awful man. Get him out my club. And now, he's doing all right. You know, he's got Ange in, and we're getting the party poppers out. It's looking good for Tottenham Hotspur. This is brilliant. I mean, Daniel Levy does it again. Big up Daniel Levy. Big up Levy. In the 35 years that I've been watching football, I have never seen Tottenham in a title race. I did under Daniel Levy. In the 35 years, I've never seen Tottenham in a huge stadium with brilliant youth facilities. I have under Daniel Levy. I have never seen Tottenham regularly competing in Champions League, but I have under Levy. I've never seen Tottenham in a final of the Champions League, but I have under Levy. But he's the problem. Get him out. Get him out. Get him gone. And now all of a sudden, oh, what an appointment this is. Like Levy. This is incredible. The biggest flip-flop fan base I've ever seen in my life. It is actually quite scary. So, yeah, listen, maybe some of it is because I get it in the neck because I'm an Arsenal fan. But what are they actually on, this fan base? It's embarrassing. The cockiest fan base for a club that don't win anything. It is absolutely shambolic for me. But listen, they'll get Champions League this year. They'll be the top four. Daniel Levy will be happy. And all the fan base will go, well played. And then they'll be wanting him out in a couple of years' time because they ain't won a trophy in a few years. We've seen it happen before. It's just Tottenham all over, man. Crazy. So, yeah, calm down a bit, bro.
That was nice. That was nice, bro.
Oh, no. He had to sip of water afterwards, get it off his chest. You know what I mean?
I feel like that's been brewing for some time, that, Dan. That would come from the heart, that, mate.
It's just regular. Listen, this is just what happens, man, with Spurs. Every year. Every single year. It's one of those, man. Tottenham will sit there now and say that everybody needs an Ange Postecoglou in their life and that Manchester United need an Ange Postecoglou. This is going to be a nice project now for 5 years. Man United need this. Why would they look at Tottenham as a model and try and copy that? Why would anyone look at Tottenham Hotspur and go, that's what I want my club to be? I'm 36 years old. I was 4 when they won an FA Cup. And they go on like this huge, huge club, like we're a massive club, we're massive this. Mate, don't get it. Don't get it. Don't understand what the hype is, really. But there we go. Listen, maybe they'll go win a title and put me in the mud. Maybe they'll win the FA Cup, beat Man City, knock them out, considering Man City still can't score at their ground, which is weird for me. But there we go. It's one of those. Maybe they will, but I'll come on here and say fair play. Daniel Levy's the man and Tottenham Hotspur are the one club that everyone wants to be. But I don't get it, man. The fan base are bizarre, bruv.
You think they're in a title race, didn't you, LB?
Yeah, I felt that the draw against United, although I called it, we all knew what was going to happen in that game. We actually predicted United. Everyone predicted that Tottenham would be the better side. They'd play some nice football, but ultimately they wouldn't win the game. Yeah, I mean, that draw's kind of knocked on back a little bit now, hasn't it? Because, I haven't said that. Yeah, because they played an extra game in Liverpool. If Liverpool win the game in hand, they go 48. They'll be 8 points behind. I felt, when I said that, I felt like they were hanging on a little bit and they had to put a bit of a winning streak. But listen, I certainly feel that they're in the race for the top 4. If they can get the players back quickly and get through this Asian Cup and African Cup of Nations period without any more drop points, then maybe. But listen, I think that I get what Dan's saying to a degree with Spurs, yeah, because it is a little bit strange. But I think the reason why the Spurs fans are gassed is because of that the morale around the football club seems to be better. But ultimately, when you put that all to one side, you're still in the same sort of position, if not worse than you were under Conte. I just feel that they can maybe see like some light at the end of the tunnel. Maybe they believe that this is the process that's going to win them some trophies. The thing that I would just be saying if I was a Spurs fan is you've got to start making serious signings, in the summer. These signing players that no one really heard of, or like these players that the top teams are not targeting. You've got to make a fundamental change now. You've got to be going for the big players. Yeah, when you're signing like the Lo Celsos and these, you've got to be going for the same players that City, Arsenal, Liverpool want to try and sign. And guess what? You might have to pay them a little bit more, but you've got to make that jump if you want to start winning stuff. Yeah, because like Dan said, the stadium's mega. They've got a decent 11. The squad is poor. The 11 is decent. You've got to build the squad up. You've got to maybe improve one or two of those starting players. But you got to start buying world-class players. You got to start buying the world-class players. You sell your Bale, you sell your Modric, you sell your Kane. You got to start buying some of them. But listen, I think that it appears to me like there has been a little bit of a shift in the way that Spurs are operating, but it's still early days. And at the end of the day, the proof is going to be in the pudding. You know what I mean? What are they going to do in the transfer market in January? They've already signed this guy from Genoa. Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know who this guy is. Yeah, because I ain't ever seen Genoa before. Right, but people say he looks decent. In the summer, go out and sign some big players. I thought the signing of Maddison was one of the best transfers of the summer. Decent price, top player. You got to sign more of those type of players. Proven footballers at the top level. Players who've played in the Premier League. Players who hopefully played Champions League experience. It's about making that step up now from being a team who's nearly in the top 4 all the time or nearly winning trophies to a team that actually does win trophies. So let's see what they do in the summer, man. But yeah, I get Dan saying they do get a little bit gassed, but I think the way that it ended last year with the Conte falling out and all that sort of stuff, selling Kane, I mean, the Tottenham fans were in the dumps, man. So I just think that they're on a bit of a high. I think that'll regulate as we go through.
I think they've done well this year. I get where Dan's coming from, and I think when they're your local rivals as well, it is what it is. But I think and it isn't all Tottenham fans, because we have Kate and Sav and others that come on that are really happy with the progress, but very much keeping their feet firmly on the ground in relation to where they are. I also get how it could be frustrating though. A team 17, 18, 19 games in, and that's it. Like we're back to our bet. I've seen some Spurs fans 2 games into this season say we are winning the league. We'll brush City aside, and I think Jesus, like, slow down a little bit. But I think Spurs are going to be, if they invest money and buy Andrew's players, I think they're going to be a really good team under him, though. I think they're going to be a really good team. I really do think they're going to be a good team.
But they've got to start buying better players. Do you know what I mean? When they buy players, they always seem to buy.
You're not going to keep getting Vicarios. You're not going to keep buying players no one's really heard of who end up being brilliant. That's again, it's a rarity that happens on such a regular basis that they're able to do it. So yeah, certainly an area that they've got to go and address. There's no doubt about that. This year says Sava, Kate, and Henry are good fans, but Dan is right. The majority are tapped. Well, in fairness, Henry's the one I didn't realize this. I'm speaking to him later. They're Klopp again. That's still a massive claim. When you look at what Klopp has won, he's won a Champions League, been the 3 Champions League finals. He's won Premier League, back-to-back Bundesligas. And, that's huge. Like, Big Ange hasn't won a major trophy yet.
I think we found our Klopp, they said. I mean, like, let's be real.
Shocking.
But Pep Guardiola at 19 games, Pep Guardiola, and Postecoglou, 19 games in. I've been really impressed. I think the style of plays there. I think they've implemented a philosophy straight away. And with LB, I think the players have been really good that have come in. I've mentioned the recruitment, right? So I'm not sitting on Spurs going, they're rubbish. What do they think they are? I'm just showing the fan base that they go a little bit over the top. And so do we. Arsenal fans do exactly the same thing. Saka's world-class. We've finally got a world-class player in Rice, Martinelli, blah, blah, blah. We go on about that as well, right? And we go a bit excitable. But so do they. Big time as well. And I just don't get it, personally. I look at Tottenham and I still think it'll be a few years. I think anyone saying they're in the title race or going to be in the title race might have got a little bit too soon, but they could prove me wrong. In terms of, Liverpool and Arsenal being questioned, if they've got a good squad big enough to beat Man City, if we haven't, sorry Spurs, but neither are you, because your squad's worse than Liverpool and Arsenal's, in my opinion. Not miles off by any means. I think they've got some really good players, to be fair, but I don't think they're anywhere near Man City level yet. And
yeah, but they've also got no European competition, Dan. They've got no European competition. They've got one game a week now for the rest of the season. Obviously, if City beat them, which is no guarantee, as you said, for some reason we can't even score a goal. But if we beat them, which obviously City are favourites, then they'll have no games. It'll just be Premier League one game a week to the end of the season. And we've seen teams before when they're in that situation do very well. Their starting 11 is very, very good.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I agree. I think their starting 11 is very, very good. I just don't see it as a title-winning starting 11.
Do you think they could overtake you in the top four? Do you think you could drop outside the top four?
Yeah, they could do.
Wow,
yeah,
the meltdown from the Arsenal fan base, if that happened, would be biblical.
Yeah,
it would
be
unbelievable.
I still don't think they will, but they could do quite easily. I don't think we're playing well enough at the moment to say that wouldn't happen. And I don't think Tottenham are playing bad enough at the moment to say that wouldn't happen. If you look at the league table, it's very, very close to Arsenal. And that is, again, why I'm not loved up with this manager, because Ange Postecoglou's come in sick for a few months and has already taken Tottenham. Like, listen, he's taken Tottenham well. Tottenham were never shock, absolute shambles, in my opinion. A lot of people saying it was absolutely awful. Conte got that squad to a top four, right? Yes, they lost Harry Kane, which I was surprised that they dealt with this quickly. So that you could add into it and say you never thought that was going to happen. But listen, Ange deserves a lot of credit. I think he's come across very well in the media. There's a lot of good things that he's done so far. But I think Tottenham fans get a little bit excited about it. And I don't know, maybe I'm muddied at the end of the year, they lift a trophy and I'll hold that.
Can you imagine, Dan, sitting on even straight facts in May? They've won the FA Cup. They've finished above Arsenal in the league. Oh, bruv, it would be peak for you. There'll be
I'll
Spurs.
I'll just go hide in a basement somewhere and just stay there for a while.
Emmanuel Perez just says, LB.
Emmanuel.
There we go. Thank you. Look, boys.